The poem in Miss Tilscher's class by Ann Duffy is essentially about growing up and the confusion and excitement that coincides. The poem is told in second person, as indicated by the use of the word you in the first line of the first stanza. However, it's also indicated throughout the poem. The effect of this is to universalize the experience, to make everyone a part of Miss Duffy's class and essentially the process of growing up. Later in the first stanza, Duffy makes note to the chalky pyramids rubbed into dust. Pyramids, at least in a modern-day sense, are symbols of the archaic, the exotic, the revered. And the fact that these structures were drawn with chalk renders them childish. Hence, there's a very basic depiction of something that was formerly revered by these ancient civilizations that constructed them. Furthermore, the fact that Miss Tilscher was able to recreate these structures by means of chalk instills a certain power in her. This power is linked to her being a source of knowledge for these children. But on the flip side, this power is not used in the traditional sense. It's more of a form of it's a comforting power. It provides this source of enlightenment for the children, which is comfort. The last line of the first stanza, which is the laugh of a bell swung by a running child, incorporates personification. On that note, the bell is being personified, given the ability to laugh. This ultimately establishes a very jubilant and happy setting, one that would be characteristic of children in grammar school, or in this case, children in Miss Tilscher's class. The first two lines of the second stanza, and I quote, "This is better than home. Enthralling books, the classroom glowed like a sweet shop." This quote, or this line rather, captures the sense of pleasure associated with the classroom. Through the comparison of a sweet shop to the classroom, Duffy implies that, like a candy shop, the students were drawn to the classroom with an identical sense of anticipation and happiness. Hence, the classroom was where the students wanted to be. That was where they were most comfortable. They loved it there. The stanza continues with the line, "Sugar paper, colored shapes, Brady and Hindley faded like a faint, uneasy smudge of a mistake." The most important quality of the aforesaid line is the allusion to Brady and Hindley. These individuals were responsible for the murder of children in northern England, and at the time they were essentially figures of horror. Everything negative in the world beyond the classroom could be linked to this infamous couple. Therefore, incorporating an illusion of this caliber provides a certain contrast to the comfort inherent in the classroom. And this contrast can also be seen as a certain uncertainty. However, this uncertainty is removed as soon as the students enter the confines of the classroom. Hence, that safety and comfort is reestablished. This idea is reinforced by the fact that Duffy refers to Brady and Hindley as an uneasy smudge of a mistake. Soon after the allusion, Duffy states that Miss Tilscher loved you. Some mornings you found she'd left a gold star by her name. Through these lines, Miss Tilscher can be characterized as caring. The fact that she loved you indicated that she exhibited a level of care and protection that exceeds the traditional teacher-student relationship. She was genuinely concerned with the well-being of her students. She really cared. The stanza concludes with the lines, "The scent of a pencil slowly, carefully shaved, a xylophone's nonsense heard from another form." The imagery of both the pencil being sharpened and the xylophone being played possesses a very calming and innocent quality that, again, generates this calming atmosphere for Miss Tilscher's classroom. And this is also seen before with the level of protection that she exerts via her power. The third stanza begins with the lines, "Over the Easter term, the inky tadpoles changed from commas into exclamation points." This quote offers the first sign of change in the poem. This change is seen through the biological transformation of tadpoles, changing from tadpoles into frogs, or in this case, commas into exclamation points. This transformation in some way relates to the children who at this point are similar to the tadpoles are maturing. Hence, the notion of becoming mature is being foregrounded by the image of the tadpole. Later in the stanza, Duffy states that a rough boy told you how you were born, you kicked him, but stared at your parents appalled when you got back home. It is here that the concepts of sex and violence are being introduced. These concepts are traditionally very adult-themed, and hence these children are finally coming into contact with that certain level of maturity and reality that they were destined to eventually face. It's important to mention that as soon as the rough boy told the student how he or she was born, the initial reaction was to kick the rough boy. Hence, the situation was handled with immaturity, suggesting that there's a certain sense of confusion, if not denial, in the face of reality and maturity. Hence, the concept is however, this concept is contrasted when the student comes home feeling appalled, which suggests that there might be a hesitant acceptance of truth, not a blatant denial, but just hesitance in the face of uncovering information outside of the classroom. In summation, this acts as a point of transition between innocence and experience. The last stanza addresses the sexual component of maturity. Duffy's diction through words such as feverish and hot suggests that there's a certain sexual tension that these students are experiencing unprecedentedly. This tension is reinforced through the phrase tangible alarm, which essentially alludes to the realization that one's developing a sexual attraction and or hormones at this point in time. The stanza continues with the lines, "You asked her how you were born, and Miss Tilscher smiled." This suggests that you revert back to figures you were formerly comfortable with as a source as a source of verifying this newly acquired information that you didn't learn in class. The fact that she didn't answer and instead hands out reports indicates that she doesn't want to pollute the minds of her students, or at least give them information that doesn't exist in the confines of her classroom. The poem's concluded with the line, "You ran through the gate, impatient to be grown, as the sky split open into a thunderstorm." Thunderstorms are traditionally associated with danger and act as almost like this metaphoric removal of the safety that was once found in the classroom. In other words, the safety that was in the classroom is now replaced with the allure of danger linked to the thunderstorm, or in this case, growing up.